Good morning. You join me today in Snowdonia. It's somewhere that I really should visit more often, but for one reason or another, I just never seem to really get a chance to. So, I mean, I'm normally in the Peak District or the Lake District or the local woodland near me. So I've made a bit of a promise to myself this year to try and cover more of Snowdonia. Now, I've come to a place which was recommended in one of Nick Livesey's videos from about a year ago. I will put a link in the description. Now, in the video, he doesn't really list exactly where the place is, but it's a little lay-by just outside a little village called Nebo. So yeah, I'll leave you to try and find that. But the reason I come to this location is, from what I can tell, it gives one of the best views of pretty much the whole north of Snowdonia. I can't see anything at the moment because the weather is absolutely atrocious. But what you can see over that way is or should be able to see, is views right up sort of the Ogden Valley. You've got Tryfan, you've got Molshabad, up sort of towards Snowdon, the Glidders. It looks, from the photos I've seen, it looks like you have fantastic views. And what I was hopeful for this morning, even though the weather is was predicted to be atrocious, was a little break in the weather, where I get to see, the views. But it's very, very windy. The car's sort of being rocked around a bit. So you've got that sort of driving rain into your face, which is horrendous. But I'm going to sit it out for a bit. I've got a coffee, I'm going to sit here, chill, and hopefully it clears up a little bit, just enough to warrant getting out the car and maybe picking off a couple of shots. So yeah, after that, really what the plan is today is it's not really so much about trying to get any great photos, because with the weather I honestly don't think I am. But I'm just going to drive around a little bit to some sort of different spots in Snowdonia, really just to get a feel for the area, because I mean I've visited quite a few times when I've been doing walks and stuff, but not with my photography head on. So yeah, just want to get a feel for the area, see what I find. If I get any good shots, fantastic, but I'm not really hoping to. And then what I'm planning to do is really finish up the day at Talaka Lighthouse. With the winds that we've got, I'm really hopeful, high tide, we should get some nice crashing waves over the lighthouse. That's the plan anyway. Whether that transpires is a completely different thing. But I'm here, I'm out for most of the day. Let's see what we find. So I've been sitting here for about half an hour, and my patience might be beginning to pay off. The clag that was in has started to lift. I'm starting to be able to see a bit more of the hills in the distance. Still can't see sort of the main mountain ranges, but yeah, it's definitely clearing up a little bit. So yeah, going to be a bit more patient, give it another half hour or so, see what happens with the weather, and yeah, see if we get out the car with the camera or not. Okay, so it's been about 10 minutes since I last gave an update. Yeah, still at the same place. The weather hasn't really changed. If anything, it's probably got worse. The mountains that I could just start to see in the background have all but disappeared. There is quite an interesting looking tree, which is looking kind of windswept on the side of a hill, which has piqued my interest a bit. I'm not sure whether to jump out the car and try and grab it really quick as a handheld shot, or just wait a bit for the weather to clear up. I think I might go with the former. I might actually get out and just try and grab a quick shot handheld, because yeah, I think it's quite a nice scene. And actually, with the clag in the background, it's giving some nice separation on the tree. It really stands out. So I might try and grab that quickly. Okay, hopefully you can see and hear me okay. I have jumped out the car, got very impatient. It's not going to be an award-winning shot by any stretch of the imagination, but I think it might work anyway. So you've got this tree just here, which I'm placing on the bottom right-hand third, and then just cutting off at the edge of the bushes just down there. And that's really all the shot is. Like I say, nothing special, but I got bored waiting, so yeah, as I say, it's horrendous weather, doesn't seem to be clearing up at all, but I might stick around for another half hour before I move on from this location. But as I say, if the shot's any good, I'll pop it on the screen, let me know what you think in the comments. Okay, calling it at this location. Doesn't seem to be getting any better. I didn't think it would, but you never know. So I'm going to head down, I think, into the Ogden Valley area. Try and get a little bit lower. Try and get out of some of this clag, and maybe I'll get some shots. You know, looking up at the mountains where the mist is sort of rolling through, especially with these winds. So I'm going to head down there, and yeah, give you an update when we get there. So I've arrived at the Ogden Valley. I've parked up right next to the Clin. Trefan on my left hand side, Penn Orwen on the right hand side. And the weather's just as atrocious down here as it was back up there, so I had a feeling it might be. Yeah, I'm not sure what I'm doing. I'm rapidly becoming quite aware this video is yeah, just gonna be me sitting in a car talking nonsense. I think what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go and get some breakfast back at the Molshabog Calf, and see what happens with the weather for a bit. What I might do with the rain and the sort of mist that there is, maybe possibly head into the woodland. I mean, with the winds we've got, it's not really conducive to woodland photography, but I don't know, I can probably get around that by bumping the ISO up. The camera can handle the ISO quite well, so that might be a possibility. So I think get some breakfast, study the maps for a local woodland maybe, and yeah, I think after that then we'll look at heading towards Talaka Lighthouse, and before we make our way home. So yeah, sorry it's a bit of a in the car job, but yeah, it's I can deal with rain, I can deal with wind. When the two are together, it's not really conducive to getting out and about and trying to get off photos. I'll just be getting myself soaking wet for no particular reason. So yeah, go and get some breakfast, and I'll give you an update soon. Right then, filled up on French toast at the Molshabog Calf. Really, really good. So I have a plan. I've been speaking to Steve, who's been to Snowdonia a lot more times than me, and there's a place he's recommended that I can't pronounce. I'll put the name on the screen now. Yeah, gonna head up there. It's basically like a reservoir, and there's some nice looking woodland at the side of it. So yeah, the rain is still coming down really fast, and the winds are really high. So we're gonna head up that way anyway, see what's going on. I think there might be, from looking at Google Maps anyway, there might be some opportunities for some nice sort of lone trees potentially, and it looks like it's at the other side of like a disused mine. So I'm gonna see what's up there. Anyway, gonna drive there now. It's about a 20-minute drive from here, and I'll give you an update when we get there. Okay, so I've arrived at the place that I cannot pronounce. It's an absolutely beautiful place, but as you can see, the winds are absolutely horrendous. Having said that, I've driven all this way, so I think it's about time that I threw the walking boots on, wrapped myself up, and got out there and see what I can find. So I've just been looking on OS Maps, and there's like a little pocket of what looks to be ancient woodland. So kind of nestled in between like an old disused mine. So I'm going to head that way. I don't think it's too much of a walk. So yeah, let me get myself wrapped up and we'll make a move. Okay, so I've come to this little woodland area on the side of the hill with what I presume to be an old silver birch woodland, some proper old twisted gnarly ones, which I absolutely love. And I've come across a scene here where there's this really old wall with moss along it, which I'm using as a leading line, going through the photo past this tree here into trees in the background. Quite a chaotic, messy looking scene, but I think it kind of works. What I'm doing to try and balance the photo out a little bit is a rock just down here, which I'm using as just a way to balance the scene a little bit. But I think it's quite a nice shot. Nothing particularly special, but like I say, I've only been walking for a few minutes, so yeah, good one to get started with anyway. I have seen the potential for another composition just over that way, so I'm going to have a look at that one as well. But if this one turns out any good, I'll pop it on the screen. Let me know what you think in the comments. That's another shot done. So just literally 10 meters from the last shot, you've got these two silver birch trees. Again, resting on the side of the hill and using some of these boulders within the frame, just to give it some balance really and give it some interest. Have got a significant portion of the sky in, but I don't think it's too bad because it is quite sort of clagged in and foggy over there, so it actually works out all right. Just being really careful with the placement of the rocks in the scene, just to make sure that I'm not sort of cutting any of them sort of like off halfway, which yeah, looks pretty good. So yeah, if this one turns out any good, I'll pop it on the screen. Let me know what you think in the comments. Yeah, apart from that, now I'm kind of really struggling, so I think I'm gonna head back to the car because it's just yeah, far too wet and far too windy. I've actually shooting these photos without the tripod because with the wind the way it is, it's just not really worth it. So yeah, gonna head back to the car and yeah, make our way up to Talaka Lighthouse and finish the day off there. All right, back at the car. It's brutal out there. Managed to get a couple of shots on the way back. On the way down, I didn't vlog any of it, but yeah, I'm not entirely sure they're going to work out. To be honest, you've got like one with this wall leading through with some quite nice looking pine trees, and then there's another one with like an old barn, and it's kind of framed by two old oak trees, which I think might look quite nice actually. So yeah, gonna make my way over to Talaka Lighthouse now and see what we find there. So we've made it to Talaka Lighthouse. Beautiful place. Took about an hour from the last spot to get to. I've already taken one shot, which is really just a standard tourist shot, so to speak, with the lighthouse and the sky in the background, really, and just a little bit of the sand. Now, what I really do like today is we've got some really dark, moody clouds, so that's just really adding to it with this nice, almost, pristine golden sand. I'm taking another shot now, and you can see the wind, the sand is blowing across, so I might actually go and try something down there with the wind. But I've got down really low, and it's like these ripples in the sand that are kind of leading your eye through the frame in towards the lighthouse. So I've got really low to get this in, shooting about f/18. Just to try and make sure I can get as much in focus, but I might do a focus stack anyway. But yeah, what a fantastic location. So I'm going to get this shot. I'm going to try and get one with the sand blowing through. So go down on the darker bit of the sand there where it's wet. You should get some nice streaks of sand going through. And then I might try one more shot, just back on the dunes over that way, using some of the grasses to sort of frame the lighthouse, so it should look quite nice, hopefully. But yeah, I'm gonna grab these shots. If they're any good, I'll pop them on the screen. Let me know what you think in the comments. Okay, so I've just come around the other side of the lighthouse because of the direction of the wind it's blowing. So basically it's blowing kind of directly towards the lighthouse from here. So that's getting some really nice effects. I don't know if you can make it out on the GoPro at all, but get some really lovely effects of the sand being blown across the beach. Shooting at a slightly longer exposure, 1/5 of a second, just to try and get some motion in that sand. I'm getting absolutely sandblasted here. Just to get some motion in the sand. I think makes the photo look a little bit more painterly. Getting really low because there's quite a big band of like dark sand here, and I've just felt that was a bit too much, taking up too much of the frame. So by getting low, I'm able to shorten that a little bit and make the photo more about the lighthouse. So yeah, I think this could turn out really nice. What I'm going to end up doing is probably blending two photos together to get this, because it's a very busy beach, a lot of people here, which is fine. So I'm taking photos for the sand, using my Bluetooth shutter release of the camera, and yeah, taking one for the lighthouse. So just waiting for these people to move, and then hopefully we can get the shot. Okay, so I think I've got my last shots of the day, to be honest with you.
So as I mentioned earlier, I come back from the lighthouse and got in amongst these sand dunes. What I'm doing, just watch me. What I'm doing is kind of framing the lighthouse with some of these grasses. I took a few different ones and I've experimented with a few different shutter speeds. What I'm trying to do is get a bit of blur in the grass, which is giving quite a nice sort of painterly effect. So yeah, took a few different ones. Finding around 1/50th of a second is kind of working nice with this wind. It's like you've got blur, but not too much blur. So yeah, if these turn out any good, I'll pop them on the screen. Let me know what you think in the comments. But as I say, that's pretty much me done for the day. Yeah, it feels like it's been a bit all over the place, and I've barely got out the car, to be honest with you. So I do apologise, but the weather's just not really been. It's not been nice. Anyway, just want to say thank you all for watching. Hope you enjoyed it, and yeah, hopefully it'll be a bit more structure to my next video. But anyway, see you soon.